Yeah. Whoa. I speak. We change lives, Jesus. I speak.
Welcome to the TP Masterclass. On behalf of Cliff Cheqona and the entire TP family, we're honored to have you here. You didn't just join a live session. You stepped into a transformational experience designed to help you master your mind, align your emotions, and trade with clarity and conviction. We'll be starting shortly. In the meantime, settle in and prepare your notepad. Like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, invite someone who needs this. Because around here, we don't just trade, we transform. Let's get started soon.
I speak life, I speak spirit. We change lives, Jesus did it. I speak life, I speak spirit. We change lives, Jesus did it. Step into my Monday. I'm stepping to my Monday. I'm stepping to my Monday. We change lives, Jesus did it. I'm stepping to my Monday. I'm stepping to my Monday. I'm stepping to my Monday. We change lives, Jesus did it.
What TP Masterclass really is. TP Masterclass is a transformation masterclass that happens every Saturday. It is designed to reshape the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you perform. Not just in trading, but in any industry where your mind plays a major role. Even though anyone can benefit from it, the majority of people you'll find here are traders. Why? Because trading is one of the few fields where your mindset, your emotions, and your discipline are tested every single day. Every session blends psychological lessons that help you understand your thinking and your behavior, spiritual lessons that strengthen your inner conviction and identity, practical lessons that give you structure and direction in real life. TP Masterclass exists because most people don't fail due to lack of skill. They fail because their mindset is not prepared for the level they are trying to reach. This masterclass equips you with the mental strength, emotional stability, and clarity needed to perform at a high level, whether you are a trader, an entrepreneur, or someone trying to grow in life.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game.
Hello, TP family. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing very, very well today. My name is Tennessee Shells, as most of you already know. I hope you guys' day has been very wonderful. I hope wherever you are is sunny. I hope you are fed well. I hope you are doing very, very well this Saturday evening. And I want to say thank you so much for always coming to the TP Masterclass on time to watch us, to get the knowledge that we have for you every Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time. I know it's not easy to always show up on time to be consistent in something, but you guys are always consistent coming to this platform just to tune into the TP Masterclass. And today is our 70th episode. Yay! Quite exciting. But if you're tuning in from Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, US, UK, Namibia, wherever that you are tuning in from, just put in the live chat so that we will be able to see where everyone is tuning in from. And if you're watching the replay of this exact TP Masterclass, put replay in the comment section so that we will know that you were here to watch us from the beginning to the end, because it's such a commitment to always watch from the beginning to the end of something. So yeah, so if you are watching the replay of this exact TP Masterclass, comment replay and we will be very appreciative of you showing us love. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. But if this is your first time, I want to take a couple of seconds to tell you exactly what this space is about, because most people tend to misunderstand it, mainly because they don't know what exactly that we do here. So everything I'm about to say will really help you understand what this platform is about, that we always come here every Saturday 6 p.m. UK time to talk about trading psychology, because trading psychology, simply put, is the study of the trader's mind, emotions, and their behavior. But to tell you exactly what this means for you is, when you come on this platform, you're not exactly coming here to learn a strategy or to learn about entry signals or to learn about chart patterns or get any market prediction for any specific pair. We did have that during the bootcamp, the 3 days bootcamp. And if you're there, I am still waiting to see a lot of testimonies, but I'm sure it will be coming very soon. But if you missed that 3 days bootcamp, do not worry, because we will have many more in the future. Just make sure that you are joined on the WhatsApp channel, because that's where most communication happens when it comes to the TP family, and also on the website cheqona.com, and also the community tab here on YouTube. And I also believe every social media we are on, we do communicate that same thing across all platforms. Okay, so if you missed that 3 days bootcamp, do not worry, because we'll have more coming for you. But anyways, when you come here, you are here to study yourself. Everything that we teach, everything that Cliff teaches, everything that a special guest will come to teach in this room, it falls into 3 categories. And one of them is to get the knowledge that you need to help you arrive at self-awareness, so that you can be able to learn the language patterns of what you've been living with, but you can never exactly name what it is. So that knowledge will bring you into self-awareness. And the second one is you'll find tools that will help you regulate your emotions. It will help you with your impulses, your decisions when the pressure is real, especially if you're a trader. But if you're not, that's also okay. You can still be on this platform to get the information that we have for you to share it with you guys. Okay. And the third one, and most people tend to miss, is that you'll find the architect for your identity, because fix your mind, fix your trading. That was like the original slogan that we started this TP masterclass with: fix your mind to fix your trading. So that's what we will be letting you guys know, by letting you stack on your beliefs, be more aware of your personality, your habits, your behavior, because fix your mind, fix your trading. So yeah, but I also want to kindly remind everyone of what we started recently, because for the past 2 weeks we kicked off things with a perception series to lay the foundation, where we started off with the power of their perspective, where Cliff broke down how the most expensive mistake you can make is a flawed perception of yourself, because every decision and result flows directly from that internal image that you have as a person. And from there we also moved on to the self perception, which was last week, where Cliff emphasized that the most impactful view in your life isn't what others think of you, but how you see yourself as a person. Okay. And the truth is, you don't usually perform based on what you say you believe in. You mainly perform according to that internal blueprint that you have for yourself. So to show you how this works, Cliff started off by introducing the 3 mechanism of behavior, which is the behavioral confirmation, the selective perception, and the performance ceiling. And today we are diving very deep into the distorted mirror, where Cliff will break down exactly how your mind gets distorted and how you'll be able to fix it. So we have a lot packed today, so make sure you are not missing anything. But that was just like introduction to the series that we have started, which is the perception series. So if you have missed any of these episodes, when you go on our YouTube channel, you click into the playlist and you will see it's been arranged carefully for you. You will see different series that we've had in the past. Just because we have moved on to another series doesn't mean you cannot watch other series. But because we are now on the perception series, if you missed episode 1 and episode 2, we will have it right in that playlist for you, and it will be helpful for you to go back to rewatch all the episodes if you're struggling with something about yourself, which is the self-perception of yourself. Okay, but now we're just going to get into the recap from last week. So if you missed it, and if you're new here and you're wondering what we talked about last week, just stay tuned and watch this video that we are about to play very carefully. You can take something from it, and once we are done with this episode, you can always go back to watch what was said in full. Okay, so let's watch the recap from last week.
The most powerful perception in your life is not what others see when they look at you. The most powerful perception in your life is what you see when you look at yourself. Do you really believe you can become a profitable trader? When you see yourself, do you see a profitable person? If you see yourself as somebody who is not a profitable trader, it makes it impossible for you to even ever become profitable in the first place. Why is it that your brain finds it so easy to believe that negative things could happen to you, but it finds it very difficult that tomorrow by this time, your life will change? We have something called content, and we have something called the container. It is easy for you to get content, but it is not easy for you to get a container. Right now, I can wake up and go on YouTube and watch how KFC recipe is and how they fry Kentucky Fried Chicken. But the reality is, I may not be able to understand that knowing how to fry KFC chicken does not mean you have KFC. Because the content, chicken, is easy to get. But if you create a KFC box in your house, they will arrest you. So many people are going around looking for the content, but they are not understanding that without the container, the content is useless. Many of you know how to trade now by the knowledge you have about the market. You are a good analyst, but your performance ceiling is not determined by your ability. It is determined by the image you hold of yourself. So if you want to outperform what you did last 2 years, raise the image.
That was truly amazing. It's all about the image of yourself. So if you missed that episode, make sure that you are going back to watch that episode so that you can get the full understanding of why he was referencing the KFC and the KFC box. But you have to be self-aware of yourself and your habits and your beliefs as a person, all about the self-image of yourself. Now we're just going to get into the testimonials for the day, for today. I'm not sure, do we have any video testimonies, or is it just text testimonies? If it's just text, please let it come onto the screen. Thank you very much.
Hello TP family, this is James Enamajo. I want to say I am totally amazed. I have been ignorant for so long. I thought I need the strategy. It is true. Sir Cliff, I've been saying it, but I thought truly I need the strategy. But that is not true. You don't need the strategy to be the trader, but you need your character, your behavior, your consistency, your execution, your emotional regulations. This financial space is not structured for us to come and extract the money and go. If you do that, you will fail and you will think trading is gambling. Yeah, let me say that. So I am now cleared out. Ignorance is not there. TP family, thank you. Mr. Cliff, thank you. And this is a testimony that I am back testing. I'm building my own data. If I want to become a trader, that's what I should do. And TP family, take Master Cliff very serious. Everything he teaches, take it very serious and you will become. I am becoming.
Yes, James, you are becoming. That was amazing to hear that you were battling with ignorancy and now you find the light. And I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy that you are back testing and you are getting your own data to work with. And that's why this platform exists, TP Masterclass Trading Psychology. And if you're not a trader, that is okay. You can still apply everything that you learn into your own personal life, however you see fit. But I am very happy for you, James. And if you're watching James and you're wondering, oh, I want to be on the TP Masterclass to share my testimony, just make sure that you have joined our WhatsApp channel, or you can just send your video through our email, which I believe it can come up on the screen so that people will be aware of our email, or it will be posted in the description of this exact. That is the WhatsApp channel. You can scan the QR code. How to do this? You can either take a screenshot of this exact scene as you are seeing me, and then you just go into your picture or your camera roll, and then you can click on the QR code and it will come up as a link for you to join the WhatsApp channel. If you are wondering how to do this, if I am watching from my only phone, but if you're watching from a laptop or anything, any other device like TV or any other device that you use to watch the YouTube, you can just scan the QR code using your camera and then it will take you straight to our WhatsApp channel. Okay. But yeah, if once we receive your testimony, it helps us greatly. Okay. So now we're just going to get into the text testimonies. Oh wow. I can tell this is like this is probably an email because it's quite long, but let's read it, shall we? Hello, TP family. My name is Beatrice from USA. I thank the Lord for making me part of the TP family. Joining TP family has been a blessing and a life-changing experience for me. Before TP family, I didn't have much control over my emotions, and I didn't even realize that all my experiences and upbringing affect my decision making and emotional responses. I recently started learning about trading. The TP Masterclass and especially the bootcamp has helped me to realize that I have been using my emotions to trade all this well. That is the reason why I am finding trading to be difficult and unprofitable. Even though I have not mastered my emotions yet, I can say for a fact that this knowledge is already making a difference in my life. The bootcamp was very informative and an eye-opening experience. I really do cherish and I appreciate the time and effort that Mr. Cliff, Mr. Kema, and the entire team put into to make the bootcamp a life-changing experience. If it has helped me to see trading as a serious business, exactly, which requires my full attention and serious planning to ensure that I become successful. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Cliff for organizing the bootcamp. May Jehovah God bless you, Mr. Cliff, and his entire TP team. God bless TP family, Beatrice. Oh, that's such an amazing testimony. Thank you so much, Beatrice, for sharing this with us. And the next one says, you are really blessed with a lot of knowledge, and we are blessed to be learning from you every day. Amazing, Alvin. And the next one says, Cliff, I will meet you one day. God gave us you for this generation. Be blessed, man of God. Much love from Tanzania. Yay, people from Tanzania. Thank you so much for tuning in to give your amazing testimony. It's very nice to every week to always read what people are experiencing and what they are changing in their lives and what is working for them in their life. As Beatrice was saying, she was dealing with a lot of emotional battles when it comes to trading, which I can't relate with her when it comes to trading, especially if you're new and you do not know what is happening in the market, it can't get to you mentally. So yeah, thank you so much, Beatrice, for also joining the bootcamp and receiving this light that you are now using to better your trading experience. So thank you guys so much for sharing your testimonies. I believe that is all from me today. But make sure you are staying tuned for the distorted. Let me look at the title again. The title for today is The Distorted Mirror, which is part of the Perception series. So if you have not grabbed your notebook, your journal, your notepad, or anything that you use to take notes with, make sure that you are grabbing right now, because once we come back, we're just going to get straight into the psychology of this TP Masterclass, which I know that's why most people tune in. But anyway, thank you guys so much and stay tuned for more. I hope to see you next week.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading. It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading.
What TP Masterclass really is. TP Masterclass is a transformation masterclass that happens every Saturday. It is designed to reshape the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you perform, not just in trading, but in any industry where your mind plays a major role. Even though anyone can benefit from it, the majority of people you'll find here are traders. Why? Because trading is one of the few fields where your mindset, your emotions, and your discipline are tested every single day. Every session blends psychological lessons that help you understand your thinking and your behavior, spiritual lessons that strengthen your inner conviction and identity, practical lessons that give you structure and direction in real life. TP Masterclass exists because most people don't fail due to lack of skill. They fail because their mindset is not prepared for the level they are trying to reach. This masterclass equips you with the mental strength, emotional stability, and clarity needed to perform at a high level, whether you are a trader, an entrepreneur, or someone trying to grow in life.
It's a mind game. You heard me. Trading is a mind game. Fix your mind, fix your trading. Fix your mind, fix your trading.
Now that you guys are sitting here, I am not teaching you. You are using me to learn you, because psychology is not what I teach you. It's what you learn about you. As a trader, your mindset plays an important role. Because when your brain is exhausted, your emotions will spike. If your emotions spike, your decisions will swift. It's a law. In trading, the person that is able to say I'm wrong quickly is the one that makes the money. I'm wrong. Cut it. Don't even think twice. Cut it. But you see, that is where those four guys that I explained to you, the dopamine guy, and then the amygdala guy, you need to shut them down immediately. And how do you do that? You don't beat a thought by thinking. If you think with these guys, you will fail. When you don't counterattack thoughts that has grown in your mind, it will become your behavior. Why? Because behavior is a belief system. Consistency comes from a system, not from a feeling. Consistency comes from a structure, not from a feeling. And so if you trade because you are broke and you need to make money, you won't make money. You have to put all feelings, all desires, all expectations aside and stick to the system. You see, the you that you make the public think you are is not the one behind the strategy. The you that you make Cliff think you are is not the one behind the strategy. It is the you that nobody knows, the one that if in case we were putting a secret camera on you, we will be surprised. Do you know why? Because that you is everything opposite to who a trader is meant to be. There is something in your brain called neural pathways. And when it goes through a process that changes your wiring, it's called neuroplasticity. That means the weak you can become strong again. And you see, the only way you can rewire your mind is what goes in, not what you ignore. The more you get something in, the more something leave. And the more something leave, the more you become. If you pick up a book and you are reading, The more books you pick up and read, the more ignorance leaves your body and your mind. Your brain is like a baby. You need to train it. So you are a failure. I am not a failure. Maybe right now I'm not getting the results I'm looking for, but I am not a failure. When you speak, it contradicts what your brain is doing. You have been watching social media, addicted to it for 5 years, and you think that mind can trade easily? No, chief. It's not easy. You are going to make it, but you are going to have to understand that these things will hijack you. Wherever you are right now, you have not decided to be a trader. You just want money from trading. Cliff, what do you mean? When you decide you want to do something, everything else that will stop you from becoming that thing must die.
What TP Masterclass really is. TP Masterclass is a transformation masterclass that happens every Saturday. It is designed to reshape the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you perform, not just in trading, but in any industry where your mind plays a major role. Even though anyone can benefit from it, the majority of people you'll find here are traders. Why? Because trading is one of the few fields where your mindset, your emotions, and your discipline are tested every single day. Every session blends psychological lessons that help you understand your thinking and your behavior, spiritual lessons that strengthen your inner conviction and identity, practical lessons that give you structure and direction in real life. TP Masterclass exists because most people don't fail due to lack of skill. They fail because their mindset is not prepared for the level they are trying to reach. This masterclass equips you with the mental strength, emotional stability.
Why did you come?
All right.
Are you ready? I am ready. Are you ready? I am ready. I am ready. I was chasing money. I was chasing money. I was chasing wind. I was chasing wind. But the market showed me. Who I really am. The old man must die. The old beliefs must fall. Before the trader rises. I surrender it all. Identity rebuilt. Beliefs rebuilt. Habits rebuilt. Behavior rebuilt. Results rebuilt. I am not the same. I am not the same. I came in as a trader. I leave with a name. I am ready. 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 You are not a trader yet. 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 You are not a trader yet, but I will be.
All right. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? If you can hear me loud and clear, kindly just drop some words in the chat for me, please. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of TP Masterclass. My name is Cliff Cheqona, and on behalf of myself and the whole entire TP family, we welcome you all to this masterclass. And I pray that every single thing that you'll be learning from today's masterclass will actually change your perception. It will actually really shift something in your mindset. And so kindly just be patient with us in every single thing that we're going to be doing today so that you can be able to learn and grow. Last week, I couldn't get a chance to be able to say hello to each and every single person before we got started. I want to take the opportunity and do that today. So if you are new here, let me start with the new people. If this is your first time here, I just want to welcome you to this masterclass. Welcome to TP Masterclass. And if this is not your first time as well, and you would like me to know where you're tuning in from, kindly just drop it in the comment section and the team will bring it up on the screen for me. Thank you. Can I know where you're tuning in from? Emmanuel from Nigeria, welcome to the call or to the masterclass. God bless you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. As always, Kuwait, thank you so much for tuning in as well. God bless you. Okay, we have Haweli from Nigeria in the house. God bless you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We have Uganda in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. We have Namibia in the house. Abraham, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So at least every single Lesotho, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Really, really, really appreciate it. We have Nigeria in the house. As much as we have South Sudan every single week, we have people tuning in across different regions, and we just want to say thank you all for always tuning in. God really richly bless you all. Thank you. Today we are going to be learning something that we have started, I think, 2 weeks ago. Yes, this is the third week of the continuation of it. But before we go in, I want to give a quick announcement, then we get started. So for all those who have been asking, when can you guys be able to get access to the TP bootcamp videos? We wanted to give the privilege for all those who are from the bootcamp to get access to the videos first before we can be able to allow other people to also watch it. The reason being is because we have to onboard people. It's not something that you go and then you make payments and get your dashboard. And so we have to accept you. The reason is because we are controlling the inflow. Because, when you're doing something that comes with, a lot of masses of people, you have to really control the narrative well before you make any mistakes. So that is the reason why we are doing that. So please permit us. We'll do our best to make sure you guys get access to it. And also for those, I think some of you who are new did ask me, when are we going to do the orientation? My team is still putting some systems together to make sure they give you guys a very smooth onboarding every single time that you are a new person and you come here. So all those who are new, welcome to this masterclass. God bless you. And at the end of the day, make sure you are in the WhatsApp channel so that you can get all the announcements. Also, I want to, before we go into today, since we are talking about self-perception, I have been getting a lot of messages concerning what I'm about to talk about. That is the very reason why I've decided to do something very interesting. So, if you are in this transformation and psychology masterclass, you can tell that many people are traders in here. So traders are able to use the information that we talk about here to understand their human psyche, because psychology is a study of the human mind, their emotions, and their behavior, quote unquote. And so the things we talk about here, they are mostly connected to identity and behavior. And these two things are very important. If you remember, I'm going to write something here so that my team can bring it up on the screen for me, please, Solomon. So you need to be able to understand that ever since we started this year, we've talked about several things, and we said identity. These 5 human stacks, we have an identity, and then from identity, we have the beliefs of the individual. We have identity, and we have someone beliefs, and we have people personality, and then we have your habits, then your behavior. Now, this and this, I want you to pay attention right now. This and this, they are very interesting because this is what forms the whole entire container. This is what reveals what is in the container. And these 3 things in here,
They are the supporting figures to this and this. And when this all becomes structured, your results is a slave. And so this year, when we started, we genuinely really believe, during prayers and every single thing. And if you have been following this community for a while, you really know that this is a community that believes in Jesus. But of course, every single person is welcome here, irrespective of your belief. But at the end of the day, we have not apologized for our convictions. I'm saying this to say that when this year started, we made everybody understand that this is our year of new status. This was something we received in prayers. And it doesn't matter whether you are a trader or you're a businessman or you are just an entrepreneur, whatever or not. We understand that every single person, your status is changing. Now, I listed some status dimensions that we believe that God is going to transform in our life. And one of them was the internal status. So we started a very interesting, conversation. That was, if we are talking about internal status, then we need to understand what forms someone's internal status. So we spoke about it and we said we have the identity. That is why we did the identity series in the beginning, the very beginning of this year. We started with an identity series, very powerful. If you have not watched it, you should go watch it. Believe me, the many testimonies that I hear every day concerning this series is powerful. So we started with the identity series. Then we went on to the belief series. Also very powerful. A lot of people have been transformed by combining these two series together. And then we are now on our self-perception series. I always explain this because I want you all to understand. Permit me. I know that some of you even understand what I'm saying already. But sometimes hearing something is one thing. You getting convicted by it is another thing. Because you see, in life, you can understand something and hear something and not be convicted. And without conviction, you cannot be able to do what you said you will do, irrespective of whatever desire you have about the situation. And so self-perception series is not just any series. It is a series that makes you see what you are rewiring and what your rewiring has become, so that you can connect that to the way you frame that image to make it a personal structure for yourself so that you can push through. So when we started this series, we already started from the perception. The episode 1 of the self-perception series was perception. Then episode 2 was the self-perception. Today we are about to talk about something very interesting that you really need to understand, because many of you as traders, as entrepreneurs, as business people, as people you are just trying to look for transformation. You are wondering, why is it that I have learned the skill, but yet the results is still missing? You see, it doesn't matter whatever that you desire. If you don't see yourself to be the person who can be able to achieve those things as well, it is almost impossible for you to be able to understand that. Now that we are talking about the perception series, I want to take the opportunity to talk about something very important. So many people who are specifically traders, they ask me certain questions and say, Cliff, how do I really understand the business as a whole? And I tell them all the time that this business is a game of perception. It's a game of concepts. How you conceive the information is very, very important. So many people sometimes ask me and say, Cliff, what strategy do you trade, quote unquote? Today, I'm going to tell you. Many people, have been asking this question a lot. And the name of my strategy, in fact, I almost started a whole entire channel on this strategy, but I just, stopped talking about it for a reason. But I want to just give you a perspective so that you guys will be able to understand. I believe in the emotions of a trader across every dimension. And so I came across a very unique way of naming the strategy that I use to approach the market. It doesn't mean that it has something that you have never heard before. It is a perception I have created for myself. And anybody that's obviously get a chance to be very close to me, I will tell you these things. The name of the strategy is called Cycle Flow. That is not what I am teaching today. I want to show you why perception is very important. Cycle Flow is the name of the strategy that I use. It is a made strategy by myself. I sat down and I understood that there is a way I see the market. And as I told you guys, every single thing in this business, every single thing is the same thing, just said in different ways. Okay? So I truly believe that if you understand this concept from that angle, it changes every single thing. Now, my big idea of the whole entire cycle flow is quite very simple. I believe that every price level, that if you go into the market and whether you see any price level any price level that you see, any price level, I believe that they are emotional levels as well. That is what I believe. And so I came to realize in my journey for being in this industry for 14 plus years now, for the plus is not really just much, but this year was the 14 years and some months counting. I have come to realize that there are 5 core human emotions you will always find in this space. 5 core human emotions. The first one, it is not in the order of priority, but it is in the order of what I am trying to let you understand here. Is hope is the first one. And the second one here, I believe that no matter what happens, somebody needs to believe at the other end of the tunnel in order for the market to be able to move in a certain way. So there is hope, there is a belief, there is greed, there is fear, and there is uncertainty. And there is uncertainty. I have come to realize that there are 5 core human emotions you will always find in this market. So the way I came to realize is that many things everybody is talking about, it comes to the point of understanding how to bring everything together. So I understand that if the price hit a certain level, let's say, for example, this is a supply zone. A supply zone is not just a zone where somebody wants to buy and sell. It means something happened there. But the question is, what happened? All right, what happened? Imagine that you go into, let's say, for example, those in the UK, there is Tesco. Those in the American region, there is Walmart. If you go to Dubai, there is Lulu. Okay, so there are different big shops across. I'm sure in Uganda, South Africa, wherever that you guys are. I'm sure there are other places where you have so many shops, but there are shops that you always go there. Now imagine one day you walk into the shop and then all they are selling there is one thing everybody is looking for. Let's say they are selling tomatoes. Let's say the shop is selling only just tomatoes. And then they go like, oh, hey, you go to this stand, they are selling tomatoes. You go to this stand, they are selling tomatoes. You go to this stand, they are selling tomatoes. Now, when it happens like that, you should know that since everybody is selling tomatoes and everybody wants to buy tomatoes, it is going to be very easy for human emotions to be all over the place. Is that true? That means if they say we are selling the tomatoes for $500, even though it's just tomatoes, if you don't buy, somebody else will buy it because somebody wants to get it. Even though nobody may buy it, that is not the point. The point is, it is very easy for these emotions to be in that market. Are you with me? It is very easy for these emotions to be in that market that I'm talking about, because it is very easy for people to be able to manipulate it, because everybody wants the tomatoes and everybody is selling the tomatoes. And so what you need to understand is every spike in the market creates an emotion. Every fall in the market creates an emotion. Every not moving consolidation space creates an emotion. And so I came to realize that every level, let's say, for example, if you pick up here, let's say this is a supply area here, I understand that supply zones are not just zones. They are zones that sellers eventually overwhelmed buyers. I am not just speaking English. Listen to the perception that I'm trying to create in your mind. They are areas where sellers overwhelmed buyers. Nobody gets into the market that they want to buy and get to a point and say, oh, I don't want to buy anymore. They still want to keep on buying. The market still will want to keep on buying. And the buyers wants it to keep on going in their favor. But there are sellers also at the other end. There are other people that wants to also sell. So if the sellers are able to overwhelm the buyers, eventually the market has to drop. Now, in this area here, you will find simple. In this area here, you will find as simple as greed being in this area here. Why greed? Because every single time the market is going up, you will understand that there is greediness somewhere in somebody's heart. And then when the greed happens and the person doesn't make the right decision and there is rejection, you will know that somebody will eventually end up regretting the decision that they made. So because I understand this, let me tell you something very well. Majority of the people that I've met, and I mentor a lot of people, I consult a lot of people, hear me here. One of the things that you need to understand is I have never met somebody, I have met a lot of people, but in the percentage of the data I'm about to give you, understand this clearly now. Every single time that you meet somebody who said, I don't know why I was being greedy, majority of the times, the trade they took was a buy. You may not realize it. This is why I'm talking about perception here. Now that I'm telling you, you'll be like, oh yeah, it makes sense though. And every single time somebody is afraid whether if they are going to lose their money is mostly associated with drawdown, something that is going down. Even if you are in a buy and your account is in a drawdown, your account is in a drawdown and you don't like it and you are afraid you're going to lose your money or blow the money. It is always a crashing matter that leads to fear, and it's always a rising matter that leads to greed. So when I say that fear and greed are the most two emotions that takes the market either up or down, it is not just a sentence. It is you understanding. It is not unusual for you to feel greedy, because the market has a way of bringing out of many people. So when you come to my strategy and the way I look at things, I understand that yes, cycle flow, which is the first concept area, I have 4 concepts that I use to explain to people. The cycle flow, number 1, simply means that the market has emotions. So my emotion and your emotion individually is a noise. What that simply means, if I am afraid in my room, it's noise. If you are afraid in your room, it's noise. But when you combine hundreds of people being afraid in their rooms, it's no more noise. It's a collective signal. Then number 2, the concept is price structure. You and I know we can't do anything without a structure. So we still understand. But I don't believe that just the market moving up and down and the highs and lows is just geometry. I believe that they are asymmetric collective of human emotions forming in every single point. So when you now go into the market, you are not just looking at geometry, you are looking at the proof of human emotion rising up and down. Then when you come to the third concept we use to build this, is very simple. I understand that at the end of the day, emotions plays an important role. So when you are able to start to name these emotions, is important. Then the 4th point of the concept is I still believe in the smart money concept. Smart money, not in terms of lines and other blocks. Smart money as a concept, meaning that you are not the only one in the hierarchy. We have the major banks all the way down to you at the bottom of the hierarchy, the retail trader. That means you need to understand that there are people that their money moves the market. This is common economical, knowledge you need to know. That there is major banks, medium-sized banks, EBS, and so on and so forth, all the way down to the retail trading space in the bottom of the hierarchy. So what does that mean? It means that there are people that their money, their lot sizes move the market. Okay? So that concept has to still be within every strategy. That the smart money, their lot sizes moves the market. They're not trying to control the market, but their lot sizes moves the market. What does that mean? It means that in order for them to move the way they want to move, they need to understand what they are playing against. And I kid you not, it is very easy for them to move the market the way they move it because they understand the retail trading emotions. They know that even if 200 people comes into this market, they know that at the end of the day, 200 people, 90% of them are not going to do what they say they will do. They know that 90% of them will put their stop losses at the obvious highs and the obvious lows. They know this already. And so they don't know it by sitting down watching you from a TV. They know it by pattern. How many times haven't you told yourself that, oh, I will not take more trades today? And you end up taking more trades. How many times do you tell yourself you'll be patient and you end up entering the market too early? How many times have you done that? Several times. So if you have been able to do it several times, then it is very easy for everybody who is in this business to know that you're going to do that. Many times people come to me and I'm able to tell them their problems. They're like, Cliff, how did you know? It is not prophecy. Sometimes some of the things is very obvious to know. Of course, there are some times too that it's a prophetic movement. But most of the times I understand that you are not the first trader in this place. So when somebody comes in and the person tells themselves, I don't know why I am being too emotional and I can't control my emotions and therefore I'm taking impulsive trades. You need to understand that the reason why you take an impulsive trade is always going to be from a place of uncertainty. Emotion number 5 I told you about. Where do you find uncertainty? I want to ask the question right now. Where would you mostly find uncertainty emotion in the market structure? Tell me. Someone bring me up on the screen. Let me see if people can be able to answer me this question. Where would you be able to find uncertainty as an emotion in the market structure? I want to show you something. Don't act like you are smart. Listen to me so that you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Where would you normally find uncertainty in the market structure as a whole? Where would you find it? And what do I even mean by that? Or if you are a trader here, answer me. We are about to go into our series soon, but I want to show you something right now. Where would you find uncertainty in the concepts? I mean, on the chart. When you go onto the chart and they say, show us a place where it looks uncertain, what would you say? And it doesn't matter. Anyone who comments anything, just bring it up at the end of the day. I just want to just see it. If they don't know it, I will just basically tell them we'll take it out from there. So where do we see ranging market? That is it. Now that you are saying it's correct, I don't want us to go on and on too much. So it is a ranging market. So by this alone, you will not call consolidation market just consolidation as geometry anymore. So you need to understand every single time that somebody is uncertain to do something, what do you think the person will do? I want you to tell me right now. What do you think the person will do? If someone is uncertain about something, what do? They become very unpredictable, right? Is that true? You can make decisions that may be impossible, that one day you can sit back and say, why did I even do this? So these are the things that we teach to let you understand that we are not saying trading is only just about psychology, but you can't take the human emotion out of the market just because there is price involved. Every single thing we do in this world is an emotional attachment there. Is that true? For example, Mercedes is no more selling cars. They are selling status. Gucci and Louis Vuitton is no more selling clothes. They are selling to a specific people who have attached meaning to what they are wearing. Everybody knows in the industry right now that every prop firm company is giving you just a demo account. We all know it. So if you say you made money and they paid you, the question is, where did they pay you from? Even though you know that these people may not pay me from the right place, which is they probably took other people's money and gave me, you are still happily taking the money. Why? Because you have connected an emotion to the business, which is hope. So they know that many traders are looking for hope. So at the end of the day, if many traders are looking for hope, how do we give them hope? Well, we're going to give them hope by making sure that we give them money. But we don't want to give them the money because I don't know these guys. What if I give them the money, they lose it? Okay, then let's give them a resemblance of money. So the prop firm gives you a resemblance of money. It's not money, but they have attached meaning to the money. So you are okay with it regardless. So because it is not real money, just because they have attached a meaning to the money, it has made the business lucrative. So what does that mean? It means human beings do not care about anything as long as there is a meaning attached to it. Right now, you know, in one of the episodes we are going to be looking at this year is the psychology of money. Not the book, a lesson. You will understand that many of you here listening to me right now, no matter what you think you are and who you think you are not looking for money. You are looking for something you have attached to money. Some people own is safety. Some people own is survival. Some people own is independence. Some people own is respect. Some people own is pressure that they want to come out of. That is why even though they are earning money right now in their jobs, they will tell you things like, I still want to learn how to trade to get out of my job so that I can have time, freedom. You have attached a meaning to money. So you are looking for it from somewhere else. And so same thing in trading. Every bit of the movement in the market is connected to an emotion. Every bit of them, every price level you see over there, every supply zone, every demand zone, every consolidation area, every spike, every move down. It is all connected to an emotion in the market. And when you find a group of people coming together in the emotion as collective signal, it is easier for you to predict. That is why smart money concept will tell you, or ICT will even tell you, wait for the liquidity sweep. What they are basically saying, wait for almost a whole lot of people who are going to make the exact same mistake again. Let them get trapped by their emotion. Let them get trapped by their emotion. And when they are done being trapped, we will go where the original direction was supposed to be. But it always ends up as emotion. Case closed. So it is not just about sitting down doing declaration. Declaration is trading psychology. You need to understand the whole entire business is a game of performance. Many people will not do what they say they will do. And the smart money and the people, the big boys, they also have to respect compliance. So they're not sitting down watching your orders like the way you think. It's a collective emotional game. So they know that 500 people right now on this brokerage are going to do what they said they won't do. Why? Because they have proven it time and time again to always break their rules. It is a common sense pattern recognition. And when you understand that, you will now remove yourself from the concept and not look at smart money traders as smart and those who do retail trading, blah, 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 blah. No, you will get to understand that this business is a game of performance. Everyone, including yourself, can be emotional, but you need to understand and identify the emotional point, so that you will know exactly the predictable things that can happen there. And when you see it happening to you, pause. So whenever you are afraid, you're not the only one. Don't think like that. Whenever you are being greedy, you're not the only one. Don't think like that. If you guys understand this, if I don't stop this, I will end up teaching the curriculum for Psychoflow. But it is something that we will look at how we can be able to help TP family members to be able to understand this concept very well. But as you already know, everything is step by step in this community. We will get there. Okay. Today, I want to teach you guys something very important. If you are learning something, drop some ones in the chat for me. Everything is about perception. I decided to bring this up because I wanted you to understand everything is about perception. When in trading, it's about perception. When you understand the perception of this business, you will start to realize that in every single thing that you are doing, if you get the right perception, you will know how to flow through it. So many people right now are struggling. They are learning strategies upon strategies. They don't understand that everything is the same. It is just the way you will perceive the connection to everything else. And so when you come and we are learning about self-perception series, it doesn't make it less of an important lesson for the trader. Why? Because even if you know how to trade, being a good analyst, you still need to be able to see yourself in a positive way in order for you to become profitable in the first place. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this series we are about to continue. Blessed be your name, oh God. We pray that every single person under the sound of my voice will get the understanding from this topic so that they can be able to grow as individuals. We give you all the praise. We give you all the honor. In Jesus' matchless name, we prayed. Amen. All right. So today I have one goal, and the goal is very simple. That by the end of this episode in our self-perception series, that I want you to be able to understand exactly what is happening in your mind around your self-image. That means now you understand everything that I said earlier, that if you are able to identify the things that is happening in your mind, because the episode 4, which is the last one, is going to be how to rebuild that image. So we spoke about in lesson 1, we already established that perception is everything. That means the meaning your mind assigns to what it receives determines every decision you make. Then in episode 2, we established the point and we went much more deeper, which was the actual self-perception as a title. And what I said and what you heard is that the most powerful perception of all the things we are talking about now is the one that you hold of yourself. That means the self-image that you hold of yourself is much more important than the self-image others hold about you. And today I want us to go to a place where most people are afraid to look at, because it is the one thing to have an incomplete image, and it is another thing entirely to have a distorted one. If right now I look at myself and I am not in the mirror at all, it is different from being in a mirror and looking a whole entire different, entirely different, complete person. Does that make sense? So you need to be able to understand that what we're about to talk about here today is very, very important to me. So if you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. Drop some number ones in the chat while we push through today's session, and I'll give you the title. All right. So today's title is very simple. The episode 3 is the distorted mirror. Episode 3 is the distorted mirror. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, come on out. I think we need to really celebrate something right now. I just remembered, and I just really saw the title of the masterclass, and I just saw that we are on episode 70. I kid you not. 2 hours minimum of lessons times 70 is a lot of hours. And if somebody would have told me that we would have gotten far today here with this masterclass, not even in terms of production, I'm talking about in terms of consistency. It is not easy to be consistent 70 times. And not just 70 times, 70 times, 2 hours minimum. And not just 2 hours minimum, 70 times, 70 topics. And not just 70 times, 70 topics and many hours, but consistency in audience. I don't care even if we don't have, thousands of people on the live itself, but they watch it later. But I do know that even if there are people here that started following in the beginning, and every single week they are here. Congratulations. Thank you. And this is impossible that you can be consistent like this and something will not change in your life. I just wanted to just let us bring and celebrate that, because I really, really give God all the praise. He has helped us in so many different angles you will never imagine. This masterclass has not been sunshine and rainbows. There have been some times it was very, very difficult to even produce this masterclass consistently because it needs teams and production, but God has been faithful. So I just wanted to just bring it up and let us not be casual about it. Let's just say thank you, to God, and let us be appreciative as a community how we have been consistent. So I just really want to say thank you, and I don't want to just trivialize it and just push it away. Okay? All right. The distorted mirror. Before we can be able to understand a distorted mirror, we need to first of all understand the word distortion. And I told you all that the distorted mindset was a masterclass we did, and I think the team shared the recap or the essential recap for you to go watch it. And I'm sure some of you watched it. So I already explained what distortion means, and I'm sure you already understand what the English means. But I'm gonna still take it just because of the masterclass. So distortion is when something has been misaligned from its original nature or form. Okay. So the key word here is misalignment. The key word here is misalignment. So it is when something, it can be anything, it can be anything. So it is a general definition here. So it is when something has been misaligned from its original nature or form. It is not destroyed, it is not gone, just misaligned. And to understand this is very important, because when we say self-image, because remember, we are talking about something here, we're talking about image, perception. So when we talk about misalignment and we are talking about self-image and we're talking about a distorted mirror, that means something has been misaligned from its original nature or form. So we are not basically saying something is broken. I am not saying that you are broken. I'm not saying that your image is broken. I'm saying your image is misaligned. Are you with me? So you need to understand that by the end of this series, since you have understood that perception is important and self-perception is important, and you're about to understand that your image may not have been broken, but it could still be misaligned, and it will equally cause the same problem at the end of the day. Have you ever seen the reflective door that when you start in front of it, it shows your image, but it either makes your neck long or it makes your hand look very soggy? Now, it is clear that you, the person, you are not soggy or your neck is not long, but the mirror is saying something else. So what that simply means is if you look at the mirror and you accept the mirror to be the truth, you are going to forever live your whole life as if the mirror is your truth. So that means if you go somewhere and somebody says, "Oh, you are so beautiful," you'll be like, "Oh, please, don't laugh at me. This long neck." And the person is like, "Your neck is not long." You'll be like, "Oh, I know, you just want me to feel good." It's because you have believed that distorted, misaligned information to be your truth, and you have accepted it. And that is how you are pushing through life. Before I came onto this call, when we were on our meeting at the back end with the team, we were having some prayer session before we came. And I was telling them about something very interesting that I remembered today. Many years ago, I grew up in a house where I had many uncles that traveled outside Ghana when we were growing up in Ghana in the beginning. So they traveled outside Ghana, and they went to the United States. So sometimes, they came back. They came back after a very long time. And then when they came with one of my cousins. His name is not Noni, but he one of my cousins. And we were very young then at that time, because my uncles, they traveled at a very young age. And when if you know what I mean, if you're an African and then you find yourself seeing family members traveling like that, we really respect them. So I had this cousin of mine. We were all at the same age, very, very young. We're all very young at that time. It was a very long time ago. And then we were just playing, playing. And then my grandmother, I told you guys a story that I grew up with my grandmother. So my grandmother was very annoyed at somebody in the house. So she was just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And then Scotty, which is the name of my cousin, he goes like, your grandmom is mad. And the first time that was the first time that I was hearing that, that somebody can tell an elderly person from where I'm coming from that they are mad. So Scotty looks at me and he goes like, Junior, I said, yeah. He says, I don't get it. Why is your grandma mad? And I said, no, don't say that. Don't say that. She's not mad. Don't say that. Respect your elders. I started advising the gentleman. My cousin. I said, don't say that. Respect your elders. Blah blah blah. And then I went to one of our mates those days, and I said, Scotty is insulting grandma. Scotty said, grandma is mad. And so one of the mates went like, wow, what a disrespectful child. This is why these kids that lives in the United States, everybody says they are very disrespectful. And I said, yeah. So now remember, I have a partner now. So, the perception is sealing. It's becoming strong. So we wanted to gang up together and go tell one of my uncles that Scotty does not respect grandmother because Scotty is saying grandmother is a mad person. So I walked to my uncle and I said, Uncle, he said, Junior. I said, I want to tell you something, but I don't know how to say it. He said, no, tell me, what is it? And I said, Scotty is insulting grandmother. And he says, why? And I said, I don't know. We were just playing, and then grandma was speaking, and then, Scotty just went out. I don't understand, why is grandmother mad? And my uncle started laughing, and it was very weird, because that is his mother. Okay, so why is he laughing? So as a young boy growing up, that was very confusing. And he goes like, oh, Junior, Scotty is not insulting grandmother. Scotty is asking you why grandma is angry. And I remember this example today, and I realized how much sometimes from the bottom of our heart, we really think we are right. Many of you will not understand what I just said. Sometimes from the bottom of our heart, we really think we are right. And we will look at things from our own perception, find another friend and another friend to believe in our perception and carry that perception to live our life. My God. And then many years later, you will realize how far you have been wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, part of this perception series is that by the grace of God, you will start to look at things objectively. That only God knows the things you are looking at right now that is incorrect. Trading, business, relationship, it doesn't matter. Only God knows. And as I remembered this story today, I was like, my God, if I didn't go to my uncle and I kept that information for myself for a very long time and almost forever, I would have always thought this is a disrespectful cousin. And anytime I will see him, all I will see is he is the grandmother insulting cousin. I'm saying this for you to understand. This is not a series you should take lightly. I am not talking about things that is going to motivate you. I'm telling you that life and perception is very important. That the way you see things, and when it becomes your reality, you are in trouble. Remember, I told you guys that when I was teaching you about one of the topics, I think psychology of something. I think it's very, very long time. I was speaking about how we have 4 levels of realities. That we have reality number 1, which is called perceived reality. Then we have experienced reality. Then we have what we call objective reality. Then we have spiritual reality. Many people listening to me right now, you live in 2 realities here, perceived and experienced. And today I am talking about perceived reality. But that is not the topic. But you need to understand that everything we learn, they come together as one. And that is why it is important that you watch these master classes. So perceived reality is the way you think something is. Experience reality is the people that speaks like, I did forex and I blew my account. Chief, I hear you, but that is not a reality. It's an experience reality. Then we have perceived reality. It is a reality that you think the way something is meant to be. Then we have objective reality. It is the way things are meant to be. And we have spiritual reality, the way things are supposed to be. So perceived reality is what we are talking about now in connection with your self-image. That you can look at yourself as an individual and you can see yourself based on what people told you from experience, the way people perceived you and they spoke about you, and you accepted that as your image. So right now, you are walking around with somebody saying, I'm going to be a great person, but in your subconscious mind, you still think you are the good for nothing person. No. If you guys are learning, drop some number ones in the chat. When you guys come onto these master classes, I kid you not, I genuinely really don't want to waste your time. And so what I'm teaching like this, I really want you to understand. I don't remember the last time I went into the market and I saw an unprofitable trader. No. I may have an unprofitable days. I may have an unprofitable week. I may have an unprofitable month. I may even have an unprofitable year. But it will take a lot for me to name myself an unprofitable trader. It is not motivation. It is because many people don't have the conviction. They think trading is a cash cow business. So if you go into the market and from Monday to Friday, if it's not profitable, then the business is wrong or something is wrong with your strategy. No, chief. Trading is not a cash cow business, meaning you can go for 3 months and you are not seeing the profit you want. And there is nothing wrong with your strategy. It is just the market conditions not being aligned with the proven track record you already have. So therefore, analyze it, study it, apply wisdom while taking the good risk and keep pushing. So many people, when they talk about profitability, they say, I don't know why I'm not profitable. The business you are in has conditions and they have seasons. It's possible some of you entered into the market and started trading in 2025, ending of November, October. It is going to be very difficult for a new person who has already gone live to be profitable with that strategy. It's not going to work. It's possible some of you started trading in 2022 when the Ukraine war started. The market started moving differently. It's not your fault. So you cannot judge your whole entire business and your self-worth around a condition you came to meet at the wrong time. So many people, if their trading results is not working, oh, I knew it, I am good for nothing. What is that? What kind of perception is this? That you are judging your whole entire destiny based on trading? No, chief. No, man. We can't do that. So you need to understand that when your visual point is misaligned with the way you see yourself, every decision you make will flow out of that. Are you getting this now? If I knew I was going to teach like this today, I wouldn't have wear this suit. But do you understand what I'm saying? It is very important that you understand this. So I don't know what kind of mirror that you are looking at things from right now that has projected an image in a way that you know it in your heart that this image is not correct. If you are learning, drop the number ones in the chat for me. I want you to write this down. Write something down for me now. I kid you not, no matter where you are and no matter who you are, you can never have the perfect image of everything every time. And so this is not a message for those who are imperfect and bringing out those who are perfect. No. This is a message of people who understand that we are in a season where life will always keep on changing. And therefore, you need to know how to see the right lens, or you need to see through the right lens. Now, write this down. You have been looking into a distorted mirror for so long. You have been looking into a distorted mirror for so long. You have been looking into a distorted mirror for so long. You have been looking into a distorted mirror for so long that you have accepted the distorted image as the accurate one. You have been looking into a distorted mirror for so long that you have accepted the distorted image as the accurate one. Are you learning? If you know somebody who wanted to be on Instagram, who normally watches this video from Instagram, kindly just tell them to come on YouTube. There are some few reasons why today we are not streaming across on Instagram, and it's not only just YouTube and LinkedIn. So they can either watch it from LinkedIn or they can watch it from YouTube here. They can join us here as a family. But if you are learning, drop some ones in the chat for me. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is what distorts the mirror? That is what we're going to talk about now. What distorts the mirror? What distorts the mirror? You see, the mirror here is basically the things that show you. The mirror can be anything. It can be your family. It can be your school. It can be your environment. The mirror is everything that has been distorted, and that is how you look at life through that lens. But what the mirror does not distort itself. No mirror sit down and be like, oh, hey, I'm going to distort myself today. No, something has to hit it. So every single person has a mirror. You have something that you look at. So let's say, for example, if this is a mirror I'm holding now, in order for it to get distorted, I need to hit it, or I need to throw a stone to hit it at the end of the day, right? So a mirror does not distort itself. Something has to hit it. Okay, so before you were old enough, we established this in episode 1 and 2, that by the time that you are 7 years, majority of the things you know about life has already been formed. Okay, so we spoke about words spoken about you or over you, your words, your experiences, your parents, their voice, every single thing. They are the things that comes together to form this. Okay, now what makes this more dangerous is that the words do not have a cruel, it doesn't have the cruel effect to become a distortion object. What I mean by that is, I don't need to tell you your head is big for you to have a distorted mindset about the way your head looks. They do not have to have bad words in order for it to distort you. You need to understand that. You remember I told you guys that identity does not mean that you are bad. Identity is a way that you needed to be to survive. So if, let's say, I grew up in an environment where I had to be aggressive and I need to be a survivor to survive in an environment, it's possible that is how you need to be sharp. You need to be strategic. There are people that they don't know how to tell the truth. It doesn't mean that they are bad. That is all that they know, because their whole life telling the truth means danger. It means somebody will punish them. So they have become liars, not because they are bad, but they have become liars because that is how they survive. Now they enter into, let's say, a church, a ministry, and then they are lying. And then the man of God knows, this guy, you know Jesus, and you have a very good heart. Why are you still lying? And the person will say, I don't even know, man of God, I'm sorry. The person is not really lying. It's just that it took him a while to build this PhD of lying. So to throw that PhD away is going to take a while of rewiring. Does that make sense? So the person is not bad, but their mindset, unfortunately, has been rewired to be that way. So I will give an example. Let's say you will find a trader, and the trader is just sitting down, okay, in front of maybe their valid setup. Everything in the system confirms that this is the entry, but something in that trader is making them hesitate. Not the strategy. They are hesitating not because of the market, but because something deeper in them is making them hesitate. There is a voice that says, who are you to think that this will work for you? Because in their whole life, they have seen themselves hearing these things that, this is not for people like us. So that means good news is always far from him. So now he sits in front of a chart, seeing a valid setup. Until a mentor they respect is saying, I'm buying, their confidence will not come, because nobody has seemed to trust them ever with a decision in their life before. Now, they will not tell themselves this. In fact, they don't even know this is what is pulling their triggers. But now that you have come onto this one, I'm telling you, nobody makes any decision out of nothing. It comes from a mindset. It comes from a perception. Are you with me? So you need to be able to understand that there are people here that there are traumas. There are people that you have been abused. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not. Sometimes, nowadays, maybe I will speak to some of my mentees who will allow me to share some of their case studies with you, because you need to be able to understand that when people come to me and I look at the way they grew up and I look at the way they are and I look at their trading problems, and I could tell your trading problems is literally reflecting your life. And you are telling them, that this is the problem. They believe me. They're not saying I'm lying. But their question is, Okay, so what now? Because it is a big news that all of a sudden, Cliff, I came here to learn how to trade. And all of a sudden you are telling me how my mother's voice is the reason why I can't make decisions. I said, it is true. I wish it wasn't. So you need to understand that your trauma, your abuse, they have created this mirror. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to let you understand the concept of what I've created these things. So that means the war is spoken over you in your previous years growing up. It did not just describe you. They built the mirror that you have been looking into ever since. Growing up, one of the things that they used to tell me a lot, and have you ever realized why I'm always telling you things that normally people will be embarrassed about, but I'm not, because that's not how I see myself. I remember one time growing up, very, very long time ago, they will say certain things about, my nose. And they will say that, oh, big nose. That's how they used to call me. And when they say big nose, they were joking, all right? They didn't even know why they were saying that, but they were joking. But I didn't take it as a joke. I'm sure now that I'm even saying, some of you are now zooming in to check my nose, but it's on you. But anyways, so they look at me and I look at myself and I started to believe that I have big nose. I was like, so anytime I take a picture and somebody said, oh, this picture is nice, I'm trying to do whatever it takes to be able to make sure that I cover the nose part. Why? Because that is how I have. So even if the picture is not showing big nose, I see it. It doesn't have to. So somebody would tell me, Cliff, your nose is not big. I say, no, I see it as big. I really see it as big because in my mind it's big. And so there are many of you here, even if your spouse or somebody tells you you are beautiful, you don't believe it because your whole life people made you believe you're not beautiful. While somebody is telling you are smart, you don't believe you're smart because your whole life they told you you're not smart. So that is the mirror you're looking at things from right now. It is very important that you need to take back the right perception. I will talk about it more when we get to the rebuilding the self-image. But this is actually very serious. If you are born in Africa, I've seen people who will sell their whole entire properties and travel. I'm talking about property of lands of acres and travel all the way from the African continent and go to a different nation just to go and live in a studio apartment. And that person will spend the rest of their life working for somebody. And they are so intelligent, but their intelligence can never come out because their whole life they have believed that the only way to become wealthy is for you to travel to another nation, destroy everything you have, the gold, the beautiful things, go to another nation and go build something. Why? Because that is what we grew up believing, that the land that is not yours is far much more superior than the land that is yours. It's an image. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying right now. So there are many people right now that I always tell people, there is somebody who came to me and they said they don't know how to properly risk well in the market. And I said, it's a perception business. And the person said, what do you mean it's a perception business? I said, it's a perception business. The reason why you are struggling to risk well is because the right perception is not there. I asked him, where are you from? He said, I'm from Nigeria. I said, okay, I'm going to give you a tip. Before you start trading dollars, try to convert the money into Naira. And then trade in Naira. Not that Naira is the way to trade, but you want to build the right risk tolerance first. Because when you convert the money into Naira, you will start to understand and relate the situation of the money to your life and your environment so that you can respect the money, because right now you don't respect it. And when the person did it, something started changing in their business without them even realizing it. So the fact that you may have traveled all the way to the United States does not necessarily mean that you will understand what you are looking at. It is possible that yes, you may have lived in the United States and you come from Ghana, but you might have to want to convert the money from dollars to cedis to build your risk tolerance before you come back using dollars as a money tool, not as a money perception. Are you with me? Perception is everything, ladies and gentlemen. And so now that I've been able to build these concepts for you to understand, I want to tell you something right now. That there are few things here that I'm going to let you right now that is very, very important. So the first thing here is we are talking about what distort these mirrors? And I'm going to list them all to you. I said, what distort these mirrors? Distorter number one. If you are learning, drop some number ones in the chat. Solomon, can you quickly bring it up on the screen? Let me know what people are learning at this moment. Let me know what people are learning at this moment. Thank you. Bring it up on the screen for me. Can you guys put in the comment section for me? What are you learning now? Let me know what you are learning. Let me know what you are learning at this moment. Okay. Can we bring up on the screen for me, please? Let me check it. What are you learning now? Let me know what we are learning before you push in, before I give you the distorters. Then I will explain all of them for you to understand so that you can be able to pick up yours and, okay, this is what is distorting my level of my business and every single thing I'm doing. Perceive reality objectively. Okay, objective reality and spiritual reality. Okay, so that was from the first one. Okay, so that means that hits you. Okay, perfect. Every decision comes from what actually? You didn't end your sentence. Perception. Okay, so you are learning about perception. Okay, good. What else are you learning? I want to know what you are learning before we go on, because this is a masterclass. I'm enjoying the life of trading here. Okay. A mirror is everything that shows me. I like that. I like that. I mean, I read it once and twice in my head, and I actually understood what you said. Good. That is a good one. What else are you learning? Is there anybody there? Let's bring two or so. I started trading in Naira last month, and it changed everything for me. Saved from. I like that. It's good. So you guys are already seeing that what I'm saying here, he's not the person that I spoke to, but he's clarifying something that I said. Life is all about perception. Don't try to look at what somebody else is doing. Focus on you and build the right perception for yourself. Is there anybody else out there before we go in now? One more, then I will take it up from there. Your perception matter a lot in your life. Okay, great. Now let's talk about the distorters. Let's talk about the distorters. Distortion number one, or the distorter number one, is repeated words from authority. Distorter number one is repeated words from authority. Repeated words from authority. This one, it doesn't have to be your family. It doesn't even have to be your parents. It just have to be from people you respect so much. And to me, all right, I don't know about you, but to me, this is the most dangerous or the most powerful distorter of all, because it hits the mirror the earliest. Because if let's say if you pick up a parent, the things they are going to tell their children is going to hit them more earlier. All right, before you are old enough to question it, you will realize that something has already been forming in you, because words that is spoken over a person by someone in authority, whether it's a parent or a mentor or a community leader, it doesn't really just inform you something, they form your image. They become part of the material that builds your whole entire self-image as a whole. And that is why it is very important that as an individual, you understand that words spoken over you, whether by your friends, whether by your boss, and so on and so forth, they're very, very, very important. So you need to understand that these words is what will form your image at the end of the day. Distorter number two. So number one is repeated words from authority. Distorter number two. Remember, why we're talking about these steps is because we believe, based on what I explained, that a mirror does not just distort itself. Something has to hit it. So the first thing that can hit your mirror to distort your image is repeated words from authority. Number two is painful experiences that were never processed. This is a big one. Many people don't process their experiences. Painful experiences that were never processed. Painful experiences that were never processed. Painful experiences that were never processed. Every single person here, you have an experience. I have an experience. You have an experience. We all have experiences some of them that nobody even knows. But it is one thing for you to keep the experience to yourself, and it's one thing for you to not process it at all. And right now that you are sitting down here or wherever that you are listening to me, it is very important that the mind is always trying to make sense of what happens to it. The mind is a very curious mind. It always want to make sense out of something. And when you don't help it to process something, it will interpret the experience itself. And when that happens, of course, it can be inaccurate. Okay, so it is very important that, let's say, for example, you blew an account, you were a trader, you lost money in business, you invested into a real estate project and it didn't go well. And you were like, you know what, it's fine. It's not fine. Process the emotion, process the experience. Somebody abused you, process it. Cry, but think about it and process it. Somebody disappointed you, process it. Many a times, I had this problem a lot, a problem of thinking, shoving something away simply means I've dealt with it. And one day, I was just in prayers also, and the Holy Spirit ministered into my spirit and said, a suppressed emotion is not a dealt with emotion. Meaning that the fact that, I'll give you an example. I've told you guys this before, that I was once upon a time very addicted to adult content. And one of the ways when I hated the adult content, I didn't want to watch it anymore. So I thought suppressing the thought of it means I have dealt with it. No, suppressing the thought of adult content does not mean you have dealt with it. You need to understand. So I sat down one day, true story, I've told you guys this. I said, I went to God and I said, God, I love watching this content. If you don't help me, I'm going to watch it again and again and again and again. I need help because I love it. I love this type. I love this figure. I love this. I was very honest because I wanted to process the emotion. So many people here are saying, Cliff, there is a guy that came to me one time, long time ago. He said he's addicted to adult content. I said, do you like it? He said, no. I said, then why do you watch it? He started laughing and he realized that he was laughing. You like it, that is why you watch it. Admitting you like it at that moment does not mean that you are a bad person. It means that is your state. Remember what I told you last week? I said, self-perception does not mean what you are looking at may be wrong, but don't accept it as your truth. Because as a human being, you are not supposed to have certain results. If you have them, for now, it is your truth. But don't connect it to your overall being as a person, because you can rewire it. So if you don't process trauma, if you don't process, and it's not easy. There are many things right now in my life that, I don't think I've processed all of them. There are certain relationships growing up that I don't think that I've finished processing them. And sometimes I can tell the effect it still have on me just because I've not processed them. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to process them. It means I've probably not put myself in the situation to process them, or the effect of it has not become too painful now, costing me to process them. But whichever way, painful experiences that were never processed is a distorter number 2. Distorter number 3. The environment you were formed in. This one, underline the word environment. The word environment to me, this distorter here is very silent. This distorter is very silent. It is a silent of them all because it is not a single event. It is an accumulated series of events, a continuous exposure to a particular way of seeing the world that has created this kind of distortion. So it is what has created the way you see people, the way you see yourself, and that has become the foundation of the mirror before you even realize that a mirror is even being built in the first place. So let's say if you grew up in an environment where risk was always dangerous. Let's say you want to take a risk. They'll be like, are you crazy? Are you stupid? Don't take risk. You are not going to start taking risk now just because you became a trader. Yes, you will, but in your subconscious mind, that is why many of you will say, Cliff, I can take $20 to 50. I can take even 50 to 100. But if I want to take 100 to 200 or 300, I start losing. Why? It's because you don't know how to take risk. Not because risk is something that you hate. It's because risk is something that was created in your environment as it's not worth it, it's dangerous, and so on and so forth. How many of you right now have seen yourself making some amount of money, but when you want to skyrocket it to another dimension of funds, you start sabotaging it? In that moment, you and I know 100% this is no more a trading problem. It means something is wrong with your decision-making pattern, especially connected to risk. Okay? So the environment that you were formed in is the distorter number 3. So think about it this way. Imagine somebody enters a restaurant, and let's say they enter a restaurant, okay? And they feel deeply uncomfortable. Not because they don't belong there, but because their mirror was formed in an environment where that level of living was labeled as not for people like us. Okay? So they enter into a restaurant, they start to feel uncomfortable immediately because they heard it all the time that this is not for people like us. So now he has grown, he has money, but anytime he entered, you can see that his atmosphere changes. And then when he enters into another type of restaurant that is, let's say, the way he grew up, if that looks like the way he grew up, you will see that the same person has energy now. Now, I'm not saying the restaurant that looks bougie is great, but we are talking about perception here. So the person is not supposed to enter into a bougie restaurant and feel awkward and enter into, one of those local restaurants and feel good and say this is for people like us. No. Whether bougie or local, I like it all. When I go to Ghana, I sometimes go to places where, to buy food from very, place that is not bougie, but the food is good. It's an African thing. It is a culture thing. There is nothing like that. And there's a place I go to, very places that is very expensive, and it's also okay. I'm very comfortable in all areas. So you need to understand that as a human being, these things create your foundation. So I want you to write this down. This is very important, that the environment that formed you was not neutral. Okay? The environment that formed you, it was not neutral. It was shaping the angle of your mirror every single day. The environment that you grew up in was not neutral. It was not just leaving you to be developed. No. It was shaping you, all right? Or the angle of the mirror that you're looking at things right now every single day. Every single day. Distorter number 4 is trauma. Distorter number 4 is trauma. I want us to define trauma before we go in, because I just want to quickly just define it for us. Trauma, please write it down. Trauma is an experience of overwhelming threats. Trauma is an experience of an overwhelming threats, loss, so threats, comma. So trauma is an overwhelming threats. It's an overwhelming experience that comes with threats, losses, violation. Trauma is an experience of an overwhelming threat. I hope somebody is not just looking at this screen and you're writing on. Trauma is an experience of an overwhelming threat, loss, violation. Please make sure you write it down for me, please. And this experience that has become so overwhelming for this person, that is full of threat and loss and violation, it has exceeds the person's capacity to process it. So trauma is an experience of an overwhelming threat, loss, violation that exceeds the person's capacity to process it. And if you don't process an experience, what did I tell you? It will leave a lasting distortion, okay, in how you perceive yourself, others, and the world. It's just the way it is. Okay? So some of the effects of those who have gone through a traumatic experience: shame, overvigilance, paranoia, trust issues. You know, those who have trust issues, they are the people that put stew on jollof rice. If you are here and you put stew on jollof rice, you have trust issues. I'm kidding. Anyways, so trauma is an experience of an overwhelming threat, loss, violation that exceeds the person's capacity to process it. I want you to write this down for me, please. Trauma does not just damage a person's past. Trauma does not just damage a person's past. It distorts the mirror they use to navigate their present and their future. That is why, to me, trauma is very, very, very dangerous in terms of one of the things people don't talk about a lot. Because trauma does not just damage your past only. It also distorts the mirror that you are going to use to navigate your present and then your future. Okay? Let's talk about the distorter number 5. Let's talk about the distorter number 5. The distorter number 5 is the sustained story. The sustained story. The sustained story. And in every single thing that we do, we talk about how the story you tell yourself really matters. So the sustained story is the only distorter you can actually address today, ladies and gentlemen. That means you may have gone through painful experiences. You may have had words being spoken over you. You may have grown up in an environment that was not favorable to your destiny. You may have had trauma experiences. But then right now, the only thing you have choice over is the story you have decided to tell yourself today. That means it doesn't matter everything that you have gone through. If you are still telling yourself a story, it is what is creating that distorted self-image. Once upon a time, there was an individual, I think this was last year. He said something to me on one of our comment sessions. He sort of disrespected me in a way, but it wasn't just a disrespect. He was bullying me. He was calling me names unnecessarily. And one of the things he said was, he was calling me fat, but I'm not fat. But even though the way he said it, like the person went to an extra mile of creating a profile picture of me, using my own picture to create a fat version of me. Now, I mean, that is on him, but I went into the washroom and I was very sad and devastated. And for a very split second, I asked myself, why am I sad? And I realized that I have carried the words of the person through the text, and I've used it and I've given it words like power of voice. And I'm telling myself, it really did hurt me. And when my perception shifted, I was like, wow, I didn't hear the person saying it. I didn't hear a voice. So where did I get a voice from? Like, where did I get the voice from at this moment? It doesn't even make sense. And so I'm saying this for you all to be able to understand that when it comes to a distorted mindset that was created by a story, that one is created by you. I gave the text the person placed in the comment a voice. It was on me. The moment I changed the story and I changed the voice, it changed my emotion immediately. So that means the sustained story that you are telling yourself right now, you are the one doing it yourself. Are you with me? Good. Now let's go to the next part of this masterclass, which is how a distorted mirror defends itself. This one here, when I'm about to talk about this, I was like, man, how a distorted mirror or a distorted mindset, but the title is mirror, defends itself. How a distorted mirror defends itself. Now, this is the part where you gotta be able to listen to this carefully now, whether you're a trader or whether you are, this message alone can help couples. How a distorted mirror defends itself. And this is the part of this teaching right now that most of you need to hear this clearly now. You need to know that a distorted mirror does not just show you the wrong image. If that was the case, then we are done with this masterclass. A distorted mirror is also actively defending that image. That means a distorted mirror will resist correction. That means a distorted mirror will use very specific mechanisms to maintain the direction of where your perception is going, even when you are trying to change. So many people will be like, okay, Cliff, I want to change. But you need to understand that the reason why it will take a while is because your subconscious mind will defend that image you have currently right now about yourself. So I'm going to show you how a distorted mirror defends itself. If you want to know how, drop some number ones in the chat before we proceed. How a distorted mirror defends itself. I'm going to be giving you several defenses. 3 of them, and then we take it out from there. Defense number 1. Defense number 1. Defense number 1 is that it recruits evidence. You see, the distorted mirror scans your environment. It scans consistently, is scanning. It's always looking for evidence to confirm the image it already shows. So remember, I told you guys that a perceived reality is what you think is true, that you have believed for so long, that has become your reality. So if right now somebody tells me, Cliff, you don't know how to teach, maybe the person is right too, and say, Cliff, you don't know how to teach. But even though the person is right, it is going to be very difficult to rewire that mindset, because I have done 70 episodes. You know how much rewiring that is. 70 episodes of me shouting and screaming on you. So by the time that, let's say, for example, I'll meet someone like a very good speaker, and they say, Cliff, you don't know how to teach. You are teaching well, but this and this and this and that. It doesn't matter. Even if the person is telling the truth, I will go and look at 70 episodes and I say, this guy. And I will look at some of the comment section and be like, Mr. Cliff, thank you so much. I have some people who always leave comments like, Mr. Cliff is a warrior in the business. So imagine seeing those comments, and I allow pride. I now allow pride to enter my heart. While the speaker is saying, Cliff, you need to be able to learn. I'll be like, oh, you don't know what you're saying. And of course, I will also probably go speak to my wife and say, oh, can you imagine this man? He's telling me I don't know how to teach. She'll be like, oh, babe, don't worry. Just forget about him. He doesn't know what he's saying. And then now I've got this. So it is very important that your mind is always scanning. That is why it is very important, if you want to be transformed, you need to make sure pride is not in your life. If you want to always grow, your pride. But your mind is always consistently looking for evidence. Okay? So write this down. A distorted mirror does not accept contradicting evidence. We are talking about how a distorted mirror defends itself. For example, there are people who will send me messages and say, Mr. Cliff, I gave your masterclass to somebody, but they say they won't watch. If it was you, would you watch it? Imagine somebody who has been, it's like one time there was a guy, he came onto a call with me and he was there in a room with some mentees. So I'm assuming he is the mentor. So he was like, yeah, I took the US 30 trade here with 300 pips. I said, Chief, that is 300 points. In terms of pips, if you want to use pips, it's 3,000 pips. No. I said, okay. He said it's 300 points and 30 pips. Sorry. And I said, it's not 30 pips. This is 300 points. He challenged me. That guy didn't come to a consultation again. And he refused it. What do you think that guy would tell his mentees? You think that he will accept the fact and go and do the research and tell them I was wrong? No. He will be proud. He will say, this is why all these people don't know how to trade. He will throw jobs and just go away. You need to understand that in this life that we live in, you are not bad though. You are just wired. Even when you are defending the thing somebody is telling you is wrong, you are just wired. So you need to understand that a distorted mirror defends itself. And one of the ways is that it scans around the neighborhood of your archives and find an evidence. So write this down. A distorted mirror does not accept contradicting evidence. It only collects confirming evidence. That is where confirmation bias lives. It only collects confirming evidence. And when it collects a confirming evidence, it will always find enough to maintain its verdict. Case closed. So defense number one. So now you understand why, even though you are trying to change, it's hard. It's not because you are bad. It's because this wiring has been so long that anything you will say today, you will find an evidence of why you are right. So you need to be able to be humble first before you can go through rewiring a distorted image. Defense number two. It will label correction as deception. As I was saying earlier, imagine you send my masterclass to somebody who believes that they are so smart. And let's say they come across a concept and they open it, and the first thing I say is that you will never be a profitable trader until you understand XYZ. Psychology, and the person does not believe in, what do you think the person will do? He will be like, does it mean that I may be wrong? No. Does it mean that at that moment he is wrong, she is wrong? No. It is their perception. Do you understand what I'm saying? So many people say, like, if we send your video to somebody, they say they won't watch it. How do you want the person to watch this thing? When the first sentence that come out of my mouth is the kind of truth people don't want to hear. So when people tell me, I'm laughing. And I said, it's okay. There are many people here who struggle to watch this masterclass today because the masterclass is heavy for them right now. Because their current problems is not strong enough to use this masterclass as an escape route. No, it's not strong enough. There are people that are following me right now, seriously. Once upon a time, they said they won't watch this masterclass again. They told me straight up. But when their life hit the rock bottom and their back was against the wall, now they are eating and watching this masterclass by now. So for me, I'm not the kind of leader that goes, oh, why are people not watching? No, it is timing. Because I've been there too. There are certain videos back in the days I would have never watched. But when I understood certain things, I went there and I watched the videos. It is perfectly normal. So you need to understand that your brain, or the distorted mirror version, it will defend itself by labeling correction as deception. That means when somebody tries to show you an accurate image of something you are looking at in the wrong way. For example, imagine if, when I was telling you about my cousin, imagine if it was not my uncle that said being mad simply means angry. I would have forever defended and say, no, you don't understand, to the person that was not my uncle, right? So normally that is why when God wants to change your mind, he sometimes takes you into an environment to somebody who will have higher authority that you will trust. That is why today, if you came here, not to say anything I'm about to say is wrong, but if you came here and I'm sitting on the plastic chair, blue plastic chair or the plastic chair that they use to do funeral a lot in Africa. Imagine if you came and I'm sitting on a plastic chair and my laptop is on my leg here, and I'm using the laptop as the screen, and the screen is watching. No matter what I am saying, you will not believe me. You will not believe. I may be telling you what will be able to change your life, but when you look at the plastic chair and maybe you look at the background and it has some, something, you will not believe me. Not because what I'm saying is not true, but because it takes a lot for people to accept a correction from somebody to change their mind. That is why if you are a mentor here or you are a business person, don't ever think that you are coming as you are. We are not in that generation again. If you package yourself as you are, even though there is something in the Bible. The Bible says in once upon a time in a city, there was a poor wise man. He was able to conquer the city for the city, but they did not regard him. Poor wise man. So sometimes it is very important. Package the conviction. Package it. So that means if you go and you tell somebody, oh, here is a video. One of the YouTube people that I follow, watch his video. Then the person opens it and all he sees is, here are the 5 reasons you will not listen. If it was me that I was about to preach TP Masterclass to somebody, you know what I would say? How are you doing? I'm fine. Why do you look sad? I don't know. It looks like my life is not going well. Wow. You know what? Today is your lucky day. I literally just came from a masterclass right now, and we are talking about a series called Perception. In fact, you know what? First time when I came across this YouTube channel, there was something in me that was repelling against the YouTube channel. But when I came across it, and I just said, okay, let me just listen to it. And as I kept on listening to this series, and I kept on listening to this, I said, okay, I will not be biased. Let me just listen, and just listen in terms of being objective. And after 40 minutes of the masterclass, I knew this is the masterclass for me. And what you are saying is not a coincidence. So go, listen, sit down, and watch this masterclass for your life. The person will watch the masterclass differently, regardless, even if he was proud. But some of you will go, I know, I'm not teaching you to go and promote me. I'm showing you why it happens. You can't blame them. Oh, go watch this masterclass. It's one of the guys I watch. He's very, very good mentor. And the person said, I'm showing you something now. That the reason why many people are not changing, sometimes it's not their fault. It's because the human brain will always defend what has already been distorted. Defense number one is that the brain is consistently recruiting evidence to be able to make sure it stays where it is. So you are telling somebody you are not a trader yet. They said, I am. It's just that, you are the one. No. They don't want to agree because the brain has found the evidence. Number two, it labels correction as deception. Are you with me? It labels correction as deception. So the moment that is why it is very important that you understand these things, that people are not bad, they are just wired. So a distorted mirror will label an accurate information as false and distorted information as true, not because they are bad, it's because it has been built in them an immune system against correction. So you are wondering, why is it that I'm listening? Do you know why many people, I was telling one of my mentees one time, he was like, podcast. I was like, podcast is great. But the reason why I have not started dropping our podcast, and I struggled a long time, was because I wanted to package it in a way that it will give it a podcast structure and still give it an educational structure. Because many people watch podcasts and they don't change. You know why? Because psychologically, podcast is like gossip. It's like two people talking and you are listening. Because human beings love gossip. They love everything that is, what is this person saying? Oh, so that is why they create something called a hook. They will tell you, this person has never drank water in 5 weeks. Din, 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 din. Hey, is it true? Hey, come and see. Oh, so you love gossip. So then when you now come and you are watching, you think you are learning. How many people watch this podcast every single day? They learn, but they never become transformed. Why? Because it takes a lot to be able to teach somebody. It takes a lot to package an information to give somebody conviction. So many people tell me, Cliff, this masterclass is long. I said, there is no other way. If I have only 50 people on this masterclass, it's better for the 50 people than to package it and make it entertainment for you to come and enjoy yourself and go and waste your life. Impossible. It is not easy, guys, to be able to work with people. People are not bad. They are just wired. You are not bad. You are just wired. But you can rewire. Defense number 3. That's why it is very important you pray that God will help you so that people will like you. Because when you're speaking like this, there is somebody sitting down there. All he sees is look at his head. He doesn't want your words to enter his heart. Anyway, defense number 3. It makes itself feel like identity. Remember, perception is not identity, but perception has a resemblance of identity. It's like a chameleon figure. If a chameleon changes its color to match a color, the chameleon is not that color. The chameleon have a resemblance of that color. For example, if you see a snake and the snake is lying down in the grass and it looks like the grass, the snake is not the grass. You step on it and then you will know the difference. So, but then it may look like the grass, but it is not the grass. So identity, distorted mirror makes itself feel like identity. And that is the most difficult and the most dangerous defense of them all. Because when a perception becomes like an identity, you will think this is who I am. But it is just a self-image. You can change the perception. So what did I say? It makes itself feel like identity. It makes itself feel like identity. You know, one time my wife and I when we were in Dubai, and then you know, because in Dubai I don't drive, but we have a driver that sometimes takes us around. You can book him and then he can take you around for a period of time. And because I don't have a driving license in Dubai and I don't want even to drive in Dubai. But we're just laughing at ourselves. You know, that is something I do a lot. I don't laugh at myself in a negative way. I laugh at myself because I feel like there are certain things that does not matter. So, but then if you do live in Dubai and you take, you hop into any car or whatever or not, and it takes you across maybe 2 hours, you can know the amount of price you will pay. So we're just laughing and we're like, many people will not know how much this costs. But if right now you have person A, and person A drives, let's say, a car, and you, let's say the expenses of a car, you're also spending that. When people see you, and let's say you didn't come from a car you were driving as a trader in this industry, they will obviously assume, I was just telling her, and I was like, people will assume that you are struggling, and will assume this person is rich. It doesn't matter even the person borrowed a car or the person went and rented a car. They will just assume that person. And I was telling her that you cannot really blame people though, because the world has been designed in a way that the one that is driving is the one that is rich, and the one that is not driving is the one that is poor. And so if somebody meets me right now and we are all talking about mentorship, and let's say I go like, come into my mentorship, and the person says, me to come to my mentorship, the majority of retail traders will go to the person who is driving the car. I don't have to be petty about that. If I also want this kind of generational people to come to my mentorship, majority of them want you to flex around like everybody else. However, there are other people who are very serious about the business and they understand. I was asking somebody a question one time and I said, show me a screenshot of Mark Douglas charts. Show me. All your life, may his soul rest in peace. All your life, name 3 cars Mark Douglas was driving. Name me 3 strategies or chart patterns you saw him drawing all the time. Just show me his P&L. Just take a screenshot and show me. And many of them were like, I didn't see it. And I said, you read his book? They said, yes. I said, you believe he's a profitable trader? They say, yes. I said, okay. Why? Isn't that interesting? Why do you believe that Mark Douglas? Is it because he was old? Why do you believe that Mark Douglas? Is because human being is always going to lean towards a perception. Because everybody was talking about trading in the zones, then everybody assumed that if the writer in the trading in the zones wrote trading in the zones, then he must be a good trader. So everybody believes Mark Douglas was a good trader. I'm not saying he wasn't. He was. But I'm trying to let you understand to the extent people will go to defend their perception. So the third point is that it makes itself feel like an identity. What does that mean? It means that over the period of time, you need to understand that identity here is the first stop of the human stacks I told you about. Identity, belief, personality, habit, behavior, then results. So the most dangerous stage of mirror distortion is when the distorted image stops feeling like a reflection and start feeling like your identity. Are you with me now? So that means if you now start to see yourself and think this is who you are, then it is almost over. It is going to be very difficult for you to survive in this concept. Very, very, very important. Now that we are almost bringing this part 3 into an end, I want to show you something because many people listening to me here are traders. What's a distorted mirror actually produce in trading? I'm going to give you a few points and then wrap it up right there. Number one, a distorted mirror can produce hesitation that has no logical source. That means you'll be wondering why a trader is hesitating to enter the trade, and there is no reason. It's just a self-perception problem. It's a distorted mirror problem. Your setup is valid. The system has confirmed that this is the move, but you do not take the trade. Why? Not because of analysis, because the mirror shows someone who cannot be trusted to make the right call. That is how you grew up. Those were the things you heard growing up. You can't be trusted, blah, blah, blah. So now you are in front of the chart. You cannot make a decision, not because you don't know how to trade, but because you know it in your mind that you cannot be trusted based on the things you heard. So the first one is that it produces hesitation that has no logical source if you are in the trading space. Okay? I'm going to give you a few points. Number one, it produces hesitation. I'll not spell it all so that you can be able to just, it produces hesitation. Number two, as a trader, as a businessman, as an investor, whatever or not, you will notice that a distorted mirror will produce the cycle of making and losing. So you don't know why you make money and then you lose it. I'm not talking about profitable days and stop losses days. I'm talking about you making profit and giving all the money back to the market. That is not a strategy problem. That is a way that a label unfortunately has come. So you make money and then you give it back. You make money and then you give it back. Not because the strategy is broken down. It's because the mirror has a ceiling. So the same way people look at themselves and say, oh, Cliff, I'm afraid I'm going to lose the money. That alone is a self-image of somebody who believes they can't keep something forever. So how much more do you think you can keep your trading account for 3 months? It's impossible until you write out that image. Okay? Number three. So number one, it produces hesitation. Number two, making or losing. Number three, it produces overtrading born from desperation. Overtrading. People that keep on saying, I don't know why I can't stop overtrading, because to them, the mirror shows something very clear. It shows someone who must prove themselves every single time, because their whole life, they know it's in their heart that nobody believes in them. They know that's what they heard. To them, their environment don't believe in them. Their friends don't believe in them. Even when people are talking about ideas, they speak about their ideas and nobody seems to listen. So it produces over trading. Then the next thing I would like to say is that I would like to add maybe one more, is that it produces the inability to follow rules under pressure. Breaking of rules. Breaking of rules. So you are here, you are wondering why, you have your rules now, everything is structured and so on and so forth. You know that you're not supposed to do that, but you can plan, you can write things down, every single thing, but yet you end up realizing that you are breaking your rules. Why? Because the distorted mirror has taken over. And every mirror, I told you guys this, when it is distorted, it does not follow rules. It follows its own logic. A distorted mirror follows its own logic. So you enter the trade, you break your rules, you sleep at night, you find something to blame it on. The reason why I didn't follow my rules is because I saw my mentor saying that he was also going to buy. So when I just saw it, I just thought it would be a buy. What are you talking about? You just broke your rules. Accept it, learn from it, and move on. I want you to write this down. I'm going to give you 3 questions after this, how to begin seeing the distortion. I'll give you 3 questions and then we'll wrap up. All right. But first, you need to understand that every trading problem, if you are a trader and you're listening to me here, that does not have a technical explanation has a mirror explanation. So you know you have sat down, you know your back testing data, you know it is working. What then is the problem? Don't just assume you need a new strategy. Sit down and reflect all angles, including the mirror first, before you even change anything. Because a distorted image is producing the behavior you cannot understand and cannot stop. So now let me give you 3 questions. I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can use to begin seeing the distortion. 3 questions. I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can use to be able to see the distortions. I'm going to give you 3 questions, 3 Q&A or 3 Q for distortions. Okay. Number 1, you must ask the honest question. Number 1, you need to ask the step number 1, you need to ask the first question, which is, when I look at myself, let's say Cliff, I'm sitting down here right now. When I look at myself, whether as a trader or whatever, not the version that I'm present right now, not the version that you wish people will see. What do you actually really see right now when you look at yourself? Like right now that you're sitting there. Let's do a quick test right now. I'm going to give you guys few questions. And if you're not able to finish it, you can do it later. But question number 1, when you look at yourself right now, be honest. I'm not saying be positive. Right now. Without you, don't put it in the comment section. It's for you. It's your notebook. You don't need to engage with me in the comment. This is for you. When you look at yourself right now, what do you really see? What do you actually really, really, really see? Write the answer down honestly right now. We are going to edit it later in episode 4. Right now we need to be. So because it is this that you will take into episode 4 to understand where to begin from. So even if you can't think of anything right now, it is also a clear sign that you see yourself invincible. So ask yourself the honest question. How do you actually see yourself right now? How do you see yourself right now? How do you see yourself right now? And then when you're able to write down the way you see yourself, the next thing is trace the image back. You need to trace the image back. You need to trace the image back. That means, where did the image come from? From words that was spoken over you, from experiences, from trauma. What was the first time you heard that thing that you see yourself now? What environment confirmed this? What story has maintained it? You know, you gotta trace it back. Okay, why do I even tell myself every day? You write it down. Because seeing yourself as how you're seeing now is a great awareness, but we have to trace the image. Where did the image come from? Whose words built it? What experience sealed it? What environment confirmed it? And what story has maintained it? Because you are not just trying to assume you know. This is, when people sometimes say trading psychology and psychology as a whole, ladies and gentlemen, this is psychology. It is a study of. If you don't do this part of the task, no matter how many things you listen to me over here, you have not done the work, because you need to study you in order for it to become psychology. I can't study your psychology for you. If I study you, it is for my resources and my data. If you study you, it is for your transformation. I'm going to say it again. If you come to me and I study you to understand you, it is for a research data for me. If I give you tools and you study you, it is for your transformation. So it is very important that you do this task. How do you see yourself right now? And trace the image after you have written it down. The second thing is challenge the defense. These things cannot be done over a period of small time, but this is something you can sleep on this weekend. Challenge the defense. When you find yourself defending a distorted image, challenge it. That is why one of the things that I did that helps me a lot is I tell myself the truth a lot. Once upon a time, I told myself, and many of you have heard me say this, I said, one day I want to build a life in such a way that when you put a camera on me, I want you to see the same person that I am saying that I am. when you put a camera on me. I want you to see at least 99% of my behavior on camera, off camera. That means if I say I sit in this office and I do this and I do this, I do it. If I'm reading books, I'm reading it. If I'm preparing for TP Masterclass, I do it. And many a times, many people may not know this, but every Masterclass session before the Masterclass, we pray. I am not just here telling you it is a spiritual community. We actually pray for the Masterclass for you guys and every single person listening. This is real. So you need to be able to understand that these things are not things that we just say them. And that is the way I wanted my life to be once upon a time. I said, God, I know that I'm not a perfect person, but I want to be able to make sure if camera is on me, at least they will find a majority of the version that I tell myself that I am. Right now, if we put camera on you, what would we see? You cannot mock God. What do we see when we put camera on you right now? Are you really that serious as you say? Are you really that integral as you say? Are you really that honest as you say? You may not be perfect. We are human beings. You cannot be perfect, but at least you can be honest. When I tell you I drink water and I don't finish it, I told you. If I am addicted to adult content, I told you. Those days when I got delivered, I told you. How I got delivered, I told you. These things are not things to boast of. They are things to let you know that as a human being, you're not perfect and things can be transformed. So stop defending your distorted mirror. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have done very well with 3 episodes. And my God, we are about to enter into episode 4, which is going to be how to rebuild the image. And right after the self-perception series, we will talk about the psychology of fear. Then we will start our profitable trader series. It's going to be a powerful one. Okay? So today we have named the 5 things that hit the mirror. Don't forget that. 5 things that hit the mirror. Number 1, distorted. Number 1, I said repeated words from authority. Distorted. Number 2, painful experiences that were never processed. Distorted. Number 3, the environment you were formed in. Distorted. Number 4, trauma. 5, the sustained story. What does this mean? It means before we started this series, I made you understand that there is a way we see things, because we don't see things with our eyes, we see through it. That means we don't see things for the way they are, we see things for the way we are. Then we came to self-perception, that the greatest perception of it all is the way you see yourself. And we came to realize that seeing yourself is not enough. You can see yourself and also get it misaligned. It's called distorted mirror. Now, a distorted mirror does not mean the information is wrong. It means the information is misaligned. That means you want to be great, but they told you you will be great, but you will come down after greatness. So to you, I am becoming great, but I can come down because I believe it about myself. Then you make money, you give it back, and you're wondering why. Your mindset and your mirror is distorted. So next week, we are going to go to the place every single person in this series has been building toward to, and what you guys have been looking forward to is how do you rebuild the image? You need to be able to make sure you get this series to everybody to watch it before episode 4. How do you rebuild the image? Not patch it. No, we're not going to patch the image. Rebuild it from the foundation with evidence to know that, okay, this is how once upon a time I used to see myself. Now I see myself like this by choice and by rewiring. Final thing I want to tell you before we wrap up is that a distorted mirror does not disqualify you from becoming who you are meant to be. Don't believe that. You are not bad. Listen, hear me carefully. You are not bad. Wherever you are right now, from South Sudan, Namibia, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, United States, UK, wherever, you are not bad. You are just wired. What this simply means is that there is work to do. Don't forget that. And that work begins the moment you are honest enough to see the distortion for what it is. It's as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I want you to drop what you have learned. It is nowadays I'm asking this question because it's very important. Sometimes people come here, they listen, and I feel like not everybody gets it. But when some people bring their lessons together, somebody will say, okay, yeah, it's true, and blah, blah, blah. So whatever you have learned in the next couple of few minutes, bring it up on the screen, and then we'll take it out from there. What have you learned? What have you learned today? LinkedIn, what are you learning? YouTube, what are you learning? What are you learning and what have you learned today? Love what you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Cervix. People are not bad. They are just wired. Believe me. You are not bad. I am not bad. I am just wired. Yes, you are not bad. You are doing all that you know. All that you know is all that you are doing. But you can rewire. You can rewire. Distortion is taking decision from protection, not progress. I didn't tell you this, but it is a good one. I don't know where you cook this one from, but let him cook. It was a good one. A distorted perception isn't necessarily my fault, but me keeping up the story, I like this one. So now you guys are living here with a conviction. I like that. It's your conviction. That means when you stand there and somebody is lying to you, you can defend it and say, no. Don't pat my back and say, I am good when I know that this thing was not right. We'll take we take a few conviction and we wrap up. Anyone there? Anything else? You are not perfect, but at least be honest. I like that. You are not perfect, but at least be honest. What is my self-image now? Then trace the source and challenge the image. I like that. I'm tempted to take more. My story can be rewritten. That's it. You are the one that is the author. You need to learn how to rewrite it. I have learned that I can be a profitable trader. Okay. I believe you. The environment I was formed in is a silent distorter. Okay. Is there anybody else that wants to share what they have learned so that we can be able to wrap up? Thank you so much. Okay. What distorted the mirror and how does the distorted mirror defend itself? Okay. I like that. I like that. That means now you know that a mirror does not distort itself. Everything has to do with perception, which can be corrected through intentional rewiring. I like that. Everything has to do with perception. A distorted mirror is not what is true. It's what what you have accepted as true. Okay, I get it. Good one. Thank you. A suppressed emotion isn't processed emotion. That's acknowledgement, and that is a way forward. I like that. You know, a lot of people are suppressing their emotions. Somebody did something to you, you are angry. You know, back in the days, I don't want to teach again. I'll finish. Anyway, tell me what you have learned. If you leave me alone, I'll teach something right now. I've always heard people say, Forex is a study of self, but never dove into it. Thought a good strategy is enough. This changed my perception. I love this. Come on, guys. Can we drop some number ones in the chat for Bucci for this level of transformation right now in his perception? Drop some number ones in the chat for him. And I should speak to be a profitable trader as well if I get a stop loss in the market. Now, let me balance this. It is a good thing to speak positively when you are having stop losses, but don't disregard data. Because it's one thing to say that I am a profitable trader and yet you don't even know what POI is. So for me, as much as we believe in mental transformation, logical arithmetic structures also matters. So what he said is very good. I just want to balance it for you to know that if you are here and you are a newbie, a beginner, and you don't know anything about the market, and that is why I'm about to even give the chance to every single person that if you have not joined the WhatsApp channel now, join it. The team will put the link for the bootcamps lessons many of you are looking for. You will go sign up. When you go there, scroll down and sign up. We will approve it so that you can go and watch. If you're a beginner, go and watch the bootcamp videos. It will teach you everything you need to know, including market structure and everything. So that from today henceforth, you don't get confused about what you are learning. So I wanted to just balance it for you to know, yes, declaring you are a profitable trader rewires an identity, but make sure that you have the tools that can create that personality as well. Does that make sense? Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into today's masterclass, LinkedIn, and every single place that you are. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.